What is up, my armadillo army? Hello and welcome to an analysis video that literally no one asked for, which is also me once again not following through on what I had previously said I was going to do. I am still working on that video essay about the reptile industry, however, that one is going to be a bigger project and require more research. And since the intro/thesis part I uploaded didn't get any engagement, I want to have something that I can share around and hopefully get more of an audience before just diving into a bigger project like that without being sure anything will come of it. And so with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy this video. What you probably don't know is that I have two private playlists on this channel. One is called OC Memes and the other OC Theme Songs. I have these to archive audio that suits my characters and or story to use for future projects related to the broader project that is also on this channel. Because my personal music taste includes a lot of instrumental EDM, in order to find songs for the theme song playlist, I will often click on the mix playlist that shows up in the recommended below videos and let it play in the hopes of discovering something with lyrics that suit my characters. I bring this up because recently it landed on Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Cage the Elephant, which I hadn't heard in a while. And as I listened to it again for the first time in multiple years, a realization very quickly struck me when it came to the chorus. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is an anti-capitalist anthem. I realize that's a bold claim, but let me explain. Part 1. The first 2/3 of the song. Now, for those who haven't heard the song before, go listen to it. It's seriously good. It's from the golden age of music, aka the late 2000s to early 2010s. It's got a great beat. What more could you ask for? But if for whatever ungodly reason you don't want to do that, I'll be giving enough explanation throughout the course of this video for you to understand where I'm coming from. For the purposes of this video, I want to focus on the chorus and the last verse, which we'll get to later. Within the story that the song is telling, our narrator is traveling through an area which, based on what happens to him, as well as the generally run-down aesthetic of the song and its sounds, I would say can be presumed to be a poor, more urban area. In our narrator's journey, he comes across a prostitute soliciting her services, continues on his way, and not even 15 minutes later, gets robbed by some guy with a gun. When he asks both of them why they live this life, they both tell him the same thing, the chorus of the song. Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, and ain't nothing in this world's for free. No, I can't slow down, I can't hold back, though you know I wish I could. Oh no, there ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good. I mean, case closed, mic drop, right? You heard me reading that out, and you're welcome, by the way, for not subjecting you to me attempting to sing into this shitty earbud mic. You heard the same words I did. It's obvious, is it not? Move over, Imagine. There's a new kid in town. Okay, goodbye. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Wait, no? I actually need to analyze it for this to count as an analysis video? Alright, fine. I guess I'll break this down line by line. Part 2, a breakdown of the chorus. The chorus consists of two, I guess you could call them stanzas, with 4 lines each. If that's incorrect, because the term stanza only applies to poetry, then feel free to call me an uncultured swine, but that's what we're going with because it works. While the first stanza introduces the anti-capitalist message, the second solidifies it. Let's examine the lyrics so you can see what I mean here. You heard me read out the full chorus, so I'm not going to repeat all the lines I want to look at again, just to have a structure where I say a line and then have a paragraph, rinse and repeat. Within the first stanza, the lines I'm interested are the last 3. If I translate them from song speak into essay speak, they essentially break down into: money is difficult to obtain, it is needed in order to have essential utilities and food, which are needed in order to survive. And there is nothing that can be obtained without spending money. This looks like a pretty good description of capitalism, or at the very least, capitalism without strong safety nets. And remember, this was two people's response as to why they are criminals, why they are, as the title of the song suggests, wicked. They are wicked because of the system built around the need for money. Capitalism is what causes this wickedness. I said that the second stanza solidifies this, and I stand by that. The lines that are the most interesting out of this whole chorus to me, and I will leave these intact for emphasis, are, "No, I can't slow down, I can't hold back, though you know I wish I could." This line reveals that the criminals aren't necessarily bad people. They aren't doing this because they want to or it's fun. They're doing this because it is the only option to survive. They wish that they could slow down or hold back, but they can't. The system is forcing them to do these things, forcing crime to happen, forcing otherwise good or decent people to become wicked. Capitalism is what causes this wickedness. Now, while I can see how some might still be seeing some problematic messaging with regards to the prostitute in the song, the opposite is actually true. Not only that, but the choice to have this specific person there, rather than a drug dealer or any other random illegal profession, was deliberate and kind of genius. While sex work is real and valid work, I think even sex workers watching this can agree that not everyone gets into it for good reasons. For some, it's not something that they enjoy doing or even want to do, but rather it is genuinely the only option in order to survive, which is what the song is describing. Even though the prostitute in the song is being describing herself as wicked, she's not the one being impugned. Rather, it is the system that forced her into doing this in order to live. And while I wouldn't necessarily describe mugging people as real or valid work, the same thing goes for the robber. The escort is doing something that she doesn't want to do, and therefore harming her own well-being. Conversely, with regards to the robber, I don't think I need to explain how threatening people with guns, more likely than not sometimes shooting them, and stealing their money is harmful to others. What these two choruses are ultimately saying, in a kind of musical yin-yang, is that this system forces people to hurt both themselves and others. "But Armadillo!" I hear the normies and reactionaries saying. "You dummy! You dipshit! What a naive fool you are! This is just a surface-level interpretation. What the NPCs in this song are saying is supposed to be wrong, and this song is making fun of them. The real message is that they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they should have made better life decisions leading up to this point. Duh." Well, first of all, you're automatically wrong, because Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is good, and conservative types are, by definition, incapable of pushing their message in a way that results in good art. But secondly, you might have an argument that I would be unable to effectively counter simply by virtue of art being necessarily open to interpretation, if not for the extra juicy bit which I've been holding off on getting into until now. Part 3. The ending. By the last verse of the song, our narrator is back at his house. He begins watching the news to see that a local pastor is being arrested for stealing money from the church. At first, he is shocked, almost can't comprehend what he is seeing, but then he says this: "But even still I can't say much, because I know we're all the same. Oh yes, we all seek out to satisfy those thrills." And the chorus repeats again, only this time I is replaced with me, and it can be assumed that this as well is coming from the narrator himself, and by extension, the singer and or songwriter. It's almost as if our narrator is refusing to pass judgment on this criminal, because after hearing the reasons for the actions of the other ones he'd stumbled across, he realized that we are, in fact, all the same. We are all trying to survive under this corrupt system, and he is lucky to, at least presumably, have somewhat of a stable living. As for the last chorus, the narrator, and therefore the song, by using the exact same words as the criminals to describe not only our narrator, but also by using we, the listener, is bringing us to the same level as them, saying that we are not above them, because by participating in this system that relies on exploitation and the desperation of the poor for any means to survive, we are all, at least a little bit, the wicked. Part 4. Conclusion. So, there you have it. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is an anti-capitalist anthem, and you're welcome for never being able to hear it the same again. I specifically didn't research what the artist officially said about the song and its meaning because I didn't want this analysis to be influenced by what they put out by PR. This is what I heard from the lyrics, and I do believe that this was the intent behind the song, but if the artist said, yep, this song is a blatant fuck you to capitalism, no records company would approve of that and release it. So whatever they said probably would either just not be useful or worse, would be misleading. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, like and subscribe. And if you have feedback about it or something else that you want to see from me, leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and Armadillo out. Well, the first stanza the lines that are the most interesting to me out of this. The lines that are and conservative types are by definition incapable of pushing